Hello there, YouTubers. So I have mounted my engine onto a piece of wood. I put some 2x4, you can see here on each end. So I got one here, one over there, and I got my plywood sheet that I got here, which is recycled from my house. And the engine is going here, and you can see the axle here. This is the axle, and I got some bolts here, so it's fixed on this. So I'm gonna be able to take some torch. I'm gonna go see a friend. He's gonna cut this. Gonna be able to put a wheel on this one, and I'm gonna put my engine here. So it's already there actually. And I'm going to be putting the electric motor here so it can produce energy, which is probably going to be an alternator. So I'm going to pierce another hole here for the alternator once I get it. After that, there's going to be a pulley system underneath. So the pulley will be there, and there's going to be a pulley which is going to be smaller for this, or bigger or smaller on one of these sides there. I don't remember. I think it's bigger here, smaller there. That would make more sense. So if it's bigger, it's going to make less turn, and more turn on the smaller here, more turn for that one, which is going to be producing more electricity. So basically you need to make sure that this part here will make more turn. Anyway, so I'm going to cut my hole here. I'm going to put my alternator, which I'm going to try to get a 100 amp 12 volt, probably most of them on eBay around $50 I think, and two pulley that are going to be attached, one of them, the smaller one, on the alternator, and this one here is going to be for the smaller one, the pulley, and I'm going to put a strap, probably a car strap or whatnot there, to put it there. This is pretty tough. I can move it around there just to show you underneath what I did. Sorry about the camera there. But so what I did, it's I put the 4 bolts that I had on the engine earlier that I unmounted, and I put that there, and what I kept there is that hole here. You can see there's a little screw there. So this is the oil. When you want to clean up the engine and put some new oil, you need to unscrew that one, so it needs to be available still, that you can reach it for lawnmowers at least. That's where it is, unless you want to tip it off and put oil everywhere, and that's what it is. I'm just going to try to point it. It's right here, and this is turning good, so no problem here. So that should be perfect. From what I know, shouldn't be having any problem with this so far. And hopefully my test will show up that it's something possible to run on hydrogen. I still need to figure out how to put my hydrogen in there. I still got my air entrance here, which is probably going to be where I'm going to be putting my hydrogen. I'm just going to cut my hose here and tighten it down with pliers or whatnot there. I don't think I'm going to be using this hose, that's for the gas, so that won't be used anymore. And this is the entry for air, so I'm probably going to be putting my tube here, and I'm going to be leaving some space around it so the air can still go through. And I'm probably going to add it with a filter like this, so I'm going to put a hole in this one here and put my hose in it. I'm going to figure out something anyway. Probably just going to drill a hole here, and there's still going to be an entry of air on the side. So the entry of air on the side here is not too much, but probably going to block some of it there so I can control my flow of air or whatnot. Still, it's a work in progress. But I could block a few fins on the side and then just leave a couple there to make sure that there's not too much air, because in HHO there's already some air, and maybe not that much, but there is still some. So I don't want to over air my unit. It does not require that much air anyway, so I'm just gonna make sure that this is not done. So basically what it's gonna be a small hole here. I'm gonna put my tube can go all the way down there, it doesn't really matter, and I'm gonna block some of those fins on the side here that I can see. There's some over there, and so it's not there's not too much of them. After that, eventually this is all going to go through and all the way through my cylinder, so I don't think there's going to be any problem. So that's the intake, that's the outtake here. So it's a fairly simple engine from what I could understand on the internet. I made some reading and all that. Spark plug is alright, everything is okay, and spark plug is actually working with this there. When it goes here, it's creating the spark and everything that I need, so that should be perfect as far as I know. One thing interesting about this engine is that there's a stop. There's a block here that you need to verify, and the block is right there. So you need to, you know, when you start your lawnmower, you have to pull on something there like a lever, and it's blocking the engine actually inside. So I put a tie wrap on it, and that was the end of it. So it's no longer blocking the engine. And yeah, I don't know if you can see here, but there is, the blocker is here, it's pushed down there right now, but usually it's way more like pushing on this device here. It's pushing on this and it's blocking your wheel. So that's one thing that you need to take care of. I could actually remove it completely, but I'm gonna see, maybe I'm gonna keep it as a fail-safe. If anything happen, I can have that to block the engine in case of an emergency or whatnot. We never know. So as for now, I'm just gonna leave it there as is, and this is about it. This is where I'm at. So I got my support. I'm able to support my engine through that piece of plywood. It's probably not the best thing you're gonna say. Yes, it's plywood. Yes, this motor is gonna generate some heat, of course. This is an engine, so it will produce some heat, and eventually, yeah, we'll change all this and put it in steel or whatnot there. Maybe a piece of, I don't know, a sheet of metal or something like that that could replace this. But as for now, instead of spending too much money on this and don't knowing if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, because I'm still testing that thing. People say it's going to work, but there's not so much video on it on the internet that is showing up that this engine is actually working. So it's not worth spending that much money as for now. And once I'm going to be done and everything will be working, if it gets to that point, then obviously I will put something a little bit better, so probably a piece of steel. And if I don't need a piece of steel, if the engine is not heating that much, I don't know what is going to be the result of that engine working on HHO either. They say, oh, it's more heat. Some of them say, oh, it's less heat. I'm gonna hold test it and see if it actually the case or not, because you never know. Those people putting some tests there, and it's not always relevant, and you don't always know what exactly it is. So that's basically what it is. So there's gonna be my pulley down there, the first and the second one, which I'm probably gonna put down there with one of my friends, which is a mechanic. Gonna make sure that I got it straight and perfectly working on that side. And after that, I'm gonna be working on putting some hydrogen on there. Obviously that's going to be probably a part in between. I'm probably going to start working on that until, because I'm waiting on that alternator. And as you know guys, eBay alternator and shipping 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 months, you never know what's going to happen with that. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to be able to shoot another video on this. So I'm probably going to be working on putting hydrogen here, and maybe making a few tests there. I still need to make my flashback arrestor. I need to make a more efficient flashback arrestor. I got one on my site. It didn't work as I wanted it to work. The twisted tube thing. You need a bigger tube. You need this. You need that. I don't know. It's there is always when you have your hydrogen cell. Actually, the problem is once it's producing, it's all right. But what's going on here, I'm going to show you that right now. After the production is done and after you shut it down, you still got your wire in the water, right? So I don't know if you can see here, but it's producing a suction. And you see there is some water in that tube. So all the way to the bucket, it has pulled the water from the bucket in the line. So all the way through here. So that's about what, a meter and a half, or a couple of feet of water in that wire. I know my wire is quite long here, so it doesn't really matter. So once I press back the button, all that water will be flowing all back to the bucket. But that's what I mean there by all that. So having a flashback arrestor will prevent those sort of thing there, and it's probably going to be flowing back a bit and all that there, but still there is it's going to prevent the flashback from the engine to go inside my bottle there and all that, and that's what I want, because if the hydrogen go all the way back to that big tank here from the engine, and this is going to be a really nice explosion to watch on YouTube, to be honest with you, because it's going to be exploding a lot. I've seen explosion before, and I got an explosion of my own on a previous attempt that I had there with my first cell, and it was not pretty. So basically that's what it is. So I'm gonna have a wire, probably gonna be making another bottle there for the bubbler with maybe something like this. Just a pipe. I'm gonna clean it up. Pipe that I got from home repair. It's not the actual size of this one. This one is a little bit bigger, or I can get a new one, it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna put some cap on top, on the bottom, just like this one, and I'm gonna put on top something like this there. It's a pressure valve, but I'm gonna make one, because there's none on the internet that I could actually see. If I'm wrong, tell me. I'm just gonna buy one, because it's less expensive than making one. But I'm gonna do one, like I saw one of the videos of a guy there on the internet, and I'm gonna post the link to that flashback arrestor. It's a pressure valve basically, so it's gonna go inside that tube. There's gonna be a huge pressure valve on top of this there, which is gonna be made of a mouse ball. Fairly easy to do. It's just that you cannot have those type of pressure valve on top here, because it's a, I don't know, sometimes a 50 psi or whatnot there, so it's too high. You need like maybe 25 psi or less, or maybe even 5 psi, because if you're pushing like 2 liters per minute of gas, or 5 liters or 10 liters per minute of gas, you don't really need to have all that pressure stored up into your tank. It's just going to push all the way. So 20 psi will be good, 5 psi will be good, even 1 psi will be good. If there is a flashback, you want that thing to be lifting up and let that gas go out, whatever explosion it's going to make, because if there is an explosion, you don't want it to stay in here, because if it's staying in there, it's going to crack, blow, whatever it's going to do there, I don't know, but it's going to be bad for you guys. And this is really important. You need to be protected, and those little thing there are the best flashback I know so far. I've been checking on the internet for quite a while. I've been studying this process for quite a while, and this is important. You need those type of thing to be able to stop a flash from the engine, or from a torch, or from anything. So basically that's what it is, and that's what I'm planning to do. If there is a flashback, if it's gonna go through this, and you know, there's a bunch of if here, but if it does actually go through this and back all the way down, you never know. Just a small spark is required for that hydrogen to light up in there. And if it light up in there you go, all the way down to my tube, all the way down to my tank. If it's going into my tank, there we go. Problem number 1 is going to blow up, and problem number 2, I'm probably going to be near it, so I don't want that to happen. Basically that's what it is. This is where I'm at. So I'm just going to buy the pulleys, buy the alternator, which is probably going to be on eBay there, or I'm going to find it in a junkyard or whatnot. Probably for 100 hem. I'm going to have to go on eBay for this, because going to the junkyard and figure out which one is 100 hemp, and figure out which car owns that and whatnot. It's going to be quite complicated. Probably a truck would have that, but I don't want to go through all this stress and process. So So this is where I'm at. Probably gonna make another video regarding a bubbler for my HHO there, and that's gonna be about it. But as for now, working on the engine. Have a great one there. Enjoy. Bye bye.